The following is a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. What happens at Akers Financial Group is we begin with a unique financial fingerprint. And today we brought someone unique to the show. We brought Alex Monk, certified financial planner practitioner. Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Brian. I like that unique term. It sounds like something my wife uses to describe me.
There's words like unique and unbelievable that you don't ever have to clarify if it's unbelievably positive or unbelievably negative, but it's unbelievable. So that's a good thing to do. All right, so it's Saturday morning. We're talking finance. Today we have some stories to tell, but today it's a show that's going to be called It's Time. And the reason it's going to be called It's Time is because of meeting with one of the radio listeners over the last few weeks. Met with a radio listener, and we're doing our normal hello and get to know each other on the Zoom call. And then I asked the normal question: what causes you to begin this conversation now? This conversation of talking to a financial planner. And the answer back was, it's time. And guess what?
I like that answer. That's a good answer.
It's a beautiful answer because it's time. When we think about people and their finances, many times in life, they come up with the reasons not to do it. Those reasons not to do it are actually some of the first things that we have to do first in a financial plan. And so we come alongside wherever you are. We're not a destination you have to reach and then call a financial advisor. What you need to do is this: it's time. So today we're talking about it's time, and it's time to do a lot of things. So let's talk about all those things that all of us need to do right now.
Let's call us and start your plan. I mean, you got to start putting this stuff on paper and really airing out your goals and getting on the same page with all your assets, your spouse, your family, etc., and figuring out what the future looks like.
Right, so what happens is this. You can go to our website, akersfinancial.com. That's AKERS financial.com. When you go to that site, you can find out more about us. You can also sign up through our website. You can also call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's win retirement, because winning in retirement is the goal for each and every one of our clients. And so what happens in financial planning is we have to design a plan that'll help you win in retirement. So Alex, explain a unique financial fingerprint and how that applies to a second opinion that we do for people when they give us a call and say, it's time, I need to get started.
Yeah, Brian, and we get a lot of these calls, whether it's from the radio, whether it's referrals, or they hear something about us and they say, all right, well, let me see what these people have to say. And I think that's a fantastic thing to do. If you knew you were going in for heart surgery in 3 years, you'd probably want to see more than one doctor, right? So that's what we are. We're your money doctor, without being too corny.
We don't have a doctorate in any way. We have designations and licenses and everything else to be a financial advisor, but not a doctorate.
And it's funny because someone will be talking at work about what they're doing as they prepare for retirement, and one of their coworkers may hear, or they get in the car, radio's on, and they hear something, and all it takes is that one little light bulb to turn on, and it's an important thing. And their eyes, like a lot of these meetings I have, people's eyes are just like opened. I'm like, all right, let's do this. We got a lot of work to do, but it's exciting to know that we can get it done, and the process itself can be rewarding as well. You had some good second opinions this week, right, Brian?
Yeah, we had a lady who called, and one of my clients had told her about Akers Financial Group, so she called, and she said, I have an investment account with through a broker, and I just feel like I need more. And so we asked her to bring information in. We had our conversation. This week was a second meeting where we're giving some opinion. And we're talking about things as simple as she hadn't signed up for a 401k that had a match yet. We had to work on the investments that were spread out everywhere. She had IRAs in 4 different locations, so we sort of gathered things together. And then we talked about saving money, and then we asked the balance sheet information, credit card, and everything else. And so one of the first things we're doing is a thing called debt snowball, getting her out of some of her credit card debt so that we can then begin saving more to the 401k and looking into Roth IRAs and other options. So that second opinion on one topic became a more thorough plan that we actually do for her. And we give her the guidance and we write it out. And we say, these are some more ideas to coach along that you need to do. And she was very excited to get these things out of the way out of her life that she'd been wondering how to get rid of it for a number of years.
And sometimes you can be a little odd with finances because people don't go to Christmas parties and say, here, check out my credit card debt. What do you guys have in credit card debt? Like, that's not a story you have.
The story is I bought this hot stock. I doubled my money in 1 hour, and I held it till it went back down to zero. No, no one ever tells the negative side of stock at a party like that. But generally in financial planning, what happens is this. There is a way to win in retirement, and that is to win the cash flow game, to know that the money coming in is greater than what your need is, to make sure you're going to be okay into and all the way through the retirement years. You got to make sure that you have a plan for that. That plan cannot start the week before you retire. It has to begin now because it's time to take a look at where you are. So many times we get clients that will call and say, all right, it's time. It's time because my youngest kid I just paid their last tuition, and I have money now. So
that sounds deeply personal to you.
Yeah, I would say that. I guess the school got delayed this year, so the payment got a little bit delayed. So I am making my last college payment. For children. So I look forward to doing some other things with money like that. But it is a freedom day, almost like they're not out of the nest, but, the college bill. So that's another long-term goal because when you have children and you start saving money monthly for their college and you start building that goal and you have aspirations and goals for them and then you realize how you're going to pay for it, you figure that out. And then when it gets through the goal, it's exciting. But now there's a time to change goals. It's a time to get things ready for that next phase. What's going on next? And so it's interesting that I guess being the age I am, there's a number of people entering this phase of life where there is some extra discretionary income that they must plan for. And what I try to say, it's a race to retirement. Let's see what we can do to get you ready to retire and not have to ever go back to work.
And those last 5-10 years, Brian, can be some of the best earning years for people. And that's when you really want to make sure you're doing the right things, tax-wise, maximizing all your plans and benefits you have at work, making sure all your ducks are in a row as you're in that huge, part of your career. Like that could be the I don't know, golden years? No, not quite. What is it?
I don't know what color the years are, but the idea is there's discretionary income. There's also discretionary income for people that are younger, maybe in their early 20s as they enter their career. The money you save in your 20s, like $1 in your 20s is worth like 10 in your 50s. I mean, it's amazing how if you start young and put that money in the stock market, that money can really grow. So, and the example of it's time, well, it's time on your money. When you talk about younger people getting started and saving $50 a month, $100, $200, whatever they can save, that saving, when you throw it to your future and allow compound interest and compound growth to happen, you'll be amazed how small the amount you have to save to reach a goal if you start very early.
Yeah, and a lot of people want to judge finances day to day, and I don't think that's a good way to look at it, and it can really bog you down. You have to, obviously the details are important, but you got to look for that longer term point, the goals, so that you can have things working towards them versus just kind of throwing things in the dark and hoping you hit whatever target is out there. And that's a tough way to do, to live life.
Yeah, it's like when a couple comes in and they just talk about things. Sometimes that's the first time the couple has come together with their finances in front of them and really truly talked about financial goals to their future. This is a much needed piece for each and every family, is to have financial talks, to organize their finances for both sides of the couple to see where they are now. We call that your financial fingerprint. So in a second opinion, yes, we ask lots of questions, not to be scary, but just to find out about you. Then the big question is, what is your main concerns now? And we sort of start there. We can do modular planning that leads to full planning. It doesn't have to be intimidating or scary. It has to be a situation where the help is there. You give us a call and we start talking about it.
Right, and we're certified planners. I mean, we do this, so we don't expect people to walk through with all the answers because they don't know the questions yet. And that's our job, is to show people, hey, these are the points that you might have missed. Let's talk about how we're handling that.
Absolutely. We've seen in our reviews with some of the listeners that have come in to see us that some of the listeners are very studious. They have learned a lot. They study a lot. And then what happens is there's a difference between the book knowledge of knowing what's out there and then how to apply it to their exact situation. And that's where 30-some years experience of how do we make it actually happen is very important when a financial advisor like Akers Financial Group comes aside, it comes alongside and helps them where they are. So financial planning is part of what we do. We manage money and do a lot of other things.
Yeah, and our goal is not that first meeting. Our goal is that long-term relationship, and that's why we have the structure that we do. And I think, Brian, you've done a great job building a company to service the client, because that's why we're here.
The key thing is the client. Take care of the client. That client has needs. We need to be able to handle that, and every client is unique. So serving one client at a time is a motto at Akers Financial Group, where we truly, truly try to take care of that client where they are. What's happening right now in the environment that we're in is that many people might be negative or reacting, and so they don't think it's time to come in and start creating a new plan for themselves, or creating or even having a goal, because of the reaction they currently have is sort of slumping down, and it's almost like sitting in a couch where you fall into that couch, you lean back, and then you're not leaning forward. One of the things in financial planning we want you to do is we want you to be creating. You sit forward, you sit up, and you start having energy, the energy of creating. People who get through this in the best shape are the ones who take this opportunity and this time to be in the creating mode, in the solution mode. It's a choice. We want you to win in retirement by taking this opportunity to begin planning with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting, call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment time with one of our team of advisors. This will be done over the phone, over a virtual meeting, or even mask to mask in one of our offices. Start planning your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancial.com. Portfolios have been through a roller coaster this year. Are you ready for the next dip? We'll explain more in a moment.
The choice of your child's school is vitally important. Wouldn't you go a few more miles for something really special? I'm Brian Wilson, principal of Harford Christian School. Harford Christian is an independent school in northern Harford County, serving students in preschool through 12th grade. Our Uncommon Core makes all the difference. For nearly 50 years, we've partnered with parents in the important responsibility of training children in God's truth. Our biblical worldview stands in stark contrast against today's culture. At HCS, political correctness is never prioritized above God's unchanging truth. We hold the bar high as we prepare students to serve God's kingdom, not just the workplace of man. Affordable tuition and transportation options put the choice of Christian education within your reach.
Come visit the longest established Christian school in Harford County. You can become acquainted with us through a private tour or on the web at harfordchristian.org.
You are unique. Just as no two fingerprints are alike, each individual's financial situation is uniquely their own. That's why the Akers Financial Group's team of advisors begins each relationship with a proven process that identifies your financial fingerprint. We'll guide you through a series of steps designed to provide a complete and accurate snapshot of where you are right now. Everything we learn about your financial fingerprint will become part of a detailed financial plan created especially for you. We'll never give you a cookie-cutter proposal or suggest a one-size-fits-all portfolio. The financial plan takes you from where you are now to where you need to be. Begin by discovering your financial fingerprint right now by going to getmyfinancialfingerprint.com. That's getmyfinancialfingerprint.com.
Member FINRA SIPC. You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Alex Monk. We're certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group. Today's show is called It's Time. It's time to make changes in your finances. It's time to talk about your finances, and it's time to talk about the market. As we're leaving the last segment, I said the following comment. Portfolios have been through a roller coaster this year. Are you ready for the next dip? What's your thoughts on that comment, Alex?
I hope people are. So the stock market's like the elevator business, Brian. It has its ups and its downs. And that's just a fact of life with the way that markets work.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to challenge your elevator example, because if you start at the first floor, you go up and you come right back down. You don't go back up permanently.
Well, yeah. So it's different.
I'm sorry. I thought I'd tease a little bit about that, but you're right. The market. So I guess one of the things about a roller coaster is you get on the ride and you take that ride. Do you like roller coasters, Alex?
I do. I think.
Good.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. They're a lot of fun. Now, what's your favorite part of the roller coaster?
Probably getting off alive.
Getting off alive. Yeah, that's a normal thing that happens. It's a normal thing. I would say that the roller coaster has different parts of it. It has the anticipation as you move up, and it goes up very slowly. You know, that clicking noise you feel, that little jolt as they take the weight of the coaster as it takes you up the hill.
Yeah, and you're really starting to feel the shakes and get a little bit nervous on that little rickety track.
Yeah, and I wonder if it needs to be that slow on the way up. I don't know the engineering of it all.
Well, I mean, that builds anticipation. And that makes the whole ride seem longer, and it makes the dramatics of the downside even more.
Right, so on a roller coaster, the downside is the exciting part. That is not the way when it comes to the stock market. The next dip down, the go down on a roller coaster is the raise your arms up in the air and scream. But in reality, a stock market, when it goes down, you do scream, but it's not of joy. It's more of fear.
Right, and with the roller coasters, you know that those dips are coming because you can see them in advance, but still, when you get to them, they're scary. The stock market, you know that it's going to be volatile. Anyone that thinks that it's not is, I think, not being realistic. So it's going to go up and it's going to go down. We need to make sure that we're set up to handle all types of environments in the market so that, like we said in the first segment, we can be reacting positively regardless of the market movements, right? So we need to be buyers when others are sellers.
Exactly right. So in roller coasters, and you're young, you like going, and you don't have that fear factor as much. As you get older, you start to have second guessing. There comes a time in life where you say, I'm not doing that roller coaster. And then there's a time I'm not doing any roller coaster. And guess what? That does apply to portfolio design. There is the amount of risk that you want to take. As you're going up that hill and growing your assets and building your assets, do you want to risk 100% of your assets? So it's time to review your portfolio. What would be involved in reviewing a portfolio, Alex?
So we'll have a meeting, get to know each other, build that comfort level and figure out where all the money is and get information. And from there, we can take that information and put it all into some software, figure out where all the money is. Not just, okay, all my money's in 2 mutual funds or 2 target date funds, which could be the case. But
right.
what does that mean, right? What's under the hood? And a lot of times, I just want to make sure people are okay with where they're currently at. Whether they want to become a client or not, I want them to know what's happening with their money. That way you can make the best decision.
Many times when people begin their careers, they sign up for their retirement account, and we might ask the question, so what did you choose? And they're like, I don't know. And
whatever the guy told me, or it's always...
or whatever the standard was on the software that I click that, and that's going to be the answer. And what's neat is that in 401k plans and with technology and designs, 401ks can have a few more choices than just the target date funds. But what happens is that you need to know what your choices are so you can do the best you can with that. And so you can make wise choices throughout your career. But knowing how your money is invested is a key ingredient of the review of your portfolio. And what you also got to do is put all of your money together and see, how's my allocation? If you've had changed jobs over the years and changed multiple times, we do recommend you collect those IRAs and put into IRAs and sort of build them into a portfolio that can be managed together, trying to make it easier and also more efficient for you.
It's funny to me how some people, I meet with them and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that account. And it can be sometimes a lot of money. I'm like, well, let's not forget about that, and let's make sure it's doing what we want it to. And I think right now, Brian's a really interesting time. We have a lot of things going on in our country, just normal stuff like elections. We have a lot of stuff that's not normal happening, and that's the way life is, right? It throws curveballs at you all day long. But right now, the market has pretty much recovered from, prior volatility.
Well, the index has. I don't believe the entire financial arena has recovered. I think the indexes have, based on the strong performance of certain niches. So there's things that are down, like real estate, corporate bonds, dividend-paying stocks are still down 10 to 20%. International stocks are still down. So there are pieces that are not totally recovered, but the indexes sure look like a recovery has occurred in those.
Yeah, and the disparity is really big between the winners and the losers. And one of the things I've seen a lot of is older clients have dividend-paying stocks. Like, that's the old school style of investing, and it's tried and true. Well, right now it's not looking good, and it's tough to see your money down when you're hearing about the market touching these all-time highs. It's a tough place to be in, because you don't want to put all your money in 3 or 4 tech stocks, but you have to have some exposure. And figuring out where that right balance is between those asset classes can really be a huge thing that you learn in that second opinion.
Absolutely. Understanding where your money is actually invested is a very good start when it comes to reviewing your portfolio. Analyzing the risks that you're taking and what risks do you really want to take, all very important. The markets are going to be changing a lot. They announced that the Dow is going to be changing, where Exxon, Pfizer, and I believe Raytheon are coming off the Dow and going to be replaced by something like Salesforce is one of them. So as we look at the Dow to the future, it's going to have a higher tech component than even what it has now. So that I'm not sure if that's a conservative move by the Dow or just reflective of the overall industries around America.
I had this conversation with my wife this week because the stock show, as she calls it, was on the TV. And I said, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And I explained, when the Dow makes these changes, the funds that try to mimic this index, they have to make those changes too, just because it tracks that index. So there's going to be forced buying and forced selling in some of those names. And that can, that makes changes in stock prices that aren't necessarily because poor results or something like that. So we got to make sure we're aware of these things.
and that will affect the stocks you currently own. There are still energy stocks on the Dow, like Chevron, but not the same percentage that it used to be. It used to be 13% of the portfolio of the Dow index. So as we look at investing, you look at where to invest, a lot of times you want to buy the lows, you want to buy the dips, you want to buy those opportunities, and you want to sell the extreme highs as you reallocate. A reallocation of a portfolio never means sell all of it. It just means almost like trimming, or like trimming the hedge, or just taking a little off the top. You're not trying to get out of everything.
It sounds like a barber. Take a little off the top there, Brian.
I didn't mean to offend you in any way, Alex, but basically what we're trying to do is this. It's time. It's time to review your portfolio, to have a second opinion, to know where your money really is. And that's what financial planning and financial analysis and then active money management is, where you take the concepts and the reality of where you are and work on that portfolio to fit your exact needs.
Yeah, and our portfolio has and continues to own things that are not your traditional stocks. One of those big ones is precious metals, and we've been a believer in that as a way to hedge for a long time. Not just now because gold is up. Now, we may rebalance some of that, but owning all those different asset classes in the right amount is very important. And knowing what your risk is half the battle.
Exactly right. And then building a plan for retirement and retirement income come into that. So when you're trying to build a portfolio that can handle the next dip, the next pullback, it's all about where is your money now, and then what can you do to affect change to make that money last a lifetime.
Yeah.
The portfolios that we really try to work on do involve having protected assets and assets that won't go down. Interest rates are very low, so it's hard to squeeze more money out of the interest. It's a tough thing to do. But we try to design portfolios.
The yield is not there in the banks, Brian. It's not.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, everybody knows that the best part of retirement is getting your time back. You decide how to use your time. Before retirement, your time is tied up with all these commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away at retirement. Your time is now consumed by things that you want to do. To begin winning in retirement, give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WINRETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. That talk that we have is a talk that can be done through the phone, through a virtual meeting, or even mask to mask. Yes, we require a mask in the office when we're meeting, but it's the right thing to do at this time. So start planning now and call us at 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancial.com, or you can check us out on our Facebook page. Why do you need an umbrella when it's not raining? We will explain after this.
Are there times in some games you wish you could just turn on the TV at the 2-minute warning? Because that's the most important part of the game, right? As a fan, these are the most exciting moments. Your team could take home the victory or crumble under pressure. But when it comes to your retirement, don't wait until the last 2 minutes. So much can happen in the final working years before retirement. Whether you're in your 50s or 60s, near or already in retirement, there's still time to put a plan in place. Don't wait until right before you retire to begin planning for your future. Can you win the retirement game like that? Come in and talk with the team at Akers Financial Group. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC. Imagine you're retired. You wake up in the morning and you don't even know what day it is. Every day seems like a Saturday. You can sleep in, cook a nice full breakfast without thinking about morning traffic or work deadlines. The Saturday calmness you used to crave is now your everyday feeling. You're not worried about your retirement income or how your investments are doing. Your biggest decision that day is where you're going to drink that first cup of coffee. Is that the kind of retirement you want? If it is, then sit down and talk with the team at Akers Financial Group. They want to help you get there. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me is Alex Monk, Certified Financial Planner Professionals from Akers Financial Group. Today, we're entering this situation called the second half of the show. It's an awesome time to talk about, actually, the word "it's time." I was speaking with a client over the last few weeks, a new client that was a radio listener, and they came in. I asked the normal question, which is, what brings you here? What brings you in at this time? And he goes, it's time. Of course, I didn't use time, but he said, it's time. It's time to make that change and move forward to accomplishing every goal. Because this couple had done a lot of work, a lot of homework, and they've done a very good job of organizing their life. All right, Alex, are you ready for the second half?
I was born for the second half, Brian. I love closing.
All right, so you had the motivational halftime speech. We're moving into this new topic. The new topic is, why do you need an umbrella when it's not raining?
Well, if you're doing a dance thing, like a Mary Poppins thing, you would definitely need an umbrella. But the other one's insurance.
What do you mean by that?
You need to have umbrella insurance.
And what do you mean by that?
Okay, so it's not insurance on that umbrella that someone gave you for a gift 5-10 years ago. It's a coverage that has a overriding, meaning it covers your liabilities on top of the coverage you currently have. So it's like your car insurance would be your rain jacket, and then anything else that falls on top of your head would be covered by the umbrella insurance. So it's an additional liability coverage.
All right. So typically, property and casualty insurance agents, they would require you to have your home and auto at the same company, and then an umbrella would then raise your liability limits for home and auto, and that umbrella is another cost. Typically, they're like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. We recommend that people basically say, it's time to make sure I insure the assets that I've saved and grown. And one of the ways to ensure that from an emergency, from something that you can't control, is this liability, by raising your liability limits to the umbrella level at $1 million, $2, $3, $5 million, or 10, whatever level we need to get to.
And one of the things we do for our clients is we review their insurance coverages. We want to make sure there's no loopholes. You don't want to build an entire plan and have one little linchpin that can have it all come crashing down. And it's never a good thing that creates a situation where you're going to need to have your umbrella insurance. It's not one of those things you're happy you have when things are great. It's one of those things you're super happy you have when the worst case scenario is reality.
Exactly right. So it is time to buy the necessary insurance your family needs. What's meant by that is this. You need to know what you need, how much you need, and why you need it before you go out and buy insurance. Don't just buy insurance. Make sure you know your need. As you build your wealth and grow your wealth, you need to insure some of that wealth with liability insurance in case an accident goes beyond your normal coverage, so that you have something to cover to protect your savings or investments or things that you are doing on the side. You need insurance like life insurance, health insurance, long-term care. There's a disability insurance. You need to know what's out there and make sure you're properly covered.
And insurance is a weird thing because you can't go back and get it. It's not like, oh, I forgot to get that. Let me go back to when I was 20. It doesn't work like that. It also changes positively. So you could have a policy you bought years ago and you're not using it correctly. You may be able to replace it with something new that accomplishes your goals better. Also, what you bought 20 years ago may not be the right thing for you anymore. It's it's completely different for every person depending on what they have, what they're trying to protect, when they, there's so many different variables, but it's worth getting a second set of eyes on it. And, a lot of times I tell people, if you could go back, I'd have you buy more of this because it's great. And sometimes it's like, okay, we have 3 years before this policy implodes. How do we save what you've put into it so far?
Absolutely. So people have insurance. Many times they have it through their employer. They have a certain amount. They check boxes on their first days that they were employed, and they never really evaluate their employee benefits to know, am I have the right amount of insurance? So I have the right policies that's designed for my family as life has changed. As you move and get into a house that costs more with a higher mortgage, as you add kids, there becomes moments in life when it's time. Recently, I was talking to a client of mine in mid-30s. He's been a client since 21 years old. And as he got married, we explained life insurance and how much he should get. He goes, I don't really feel I need it right then. So he waited a little bit. After the first child, we had a talk, second child. And then guess what? The third child's coming. And I had to talk, and I said, it's time. You really got to do this. And so the thing is that the insurance need kept going up as the responsibilities, the dependents, the people who need that care. The idea of life insurance isn't to make your family wealthy. It's to care for them the same way you're caring for them with your work. So if you're working, and if you're gone tomorrow, how's that income going to be replaced for your surviving spouse? How is your kids going to be provided for? Many times it's a calculation that's done. If you say, well, do I have 10 times my income in life insurance, and you don't, you should reevaluate and see what is your number. What is your need? Understanding your need first, and then why you need the insurance, and then how much to get, and then how to pay for it is all the key ingredients of a good design on life insurance and really any kind of insurance.
And life insurance can be used in a lot of interesting ways. The tax benefits of it are great if you can afford to fund it and there's a bunch of really, really neat strategies the higher end you go on the life insurance side. And it's a great way to pass down wealth tax-free if that's your goal. Or, you can use it to do a whole bunch of different things depending on what that goal is. And there's 3 or 4 different ways to skin every cat. You just need to know what all those ways are.
Exactly right.
No cats harmed in this recording.
Yeah, that was what my thought was. But I was trying to get back to life insurance in my mind. So in my career, the first 15 years of my career, I never delivered a death benefit. It wasn't until I talked to the family after someone passed away, and I said, this life insurance is going to pay in the next couple of weeks to a money market and a checkbook all this money tax-free for you to decide what you need to do. So the husband that passed away in that incident, basically that money was there, and that money's there to pay down the mortgage, to pay for the funeral costs, provide for all the needs at that time. It's very, very important to know that life insurance is truly not about the person that you're insuring. It's about the people we're providing for when we're left behind. You do insurance planning as if something might happen tomorrow that would destroy your plan or your desires for your goals in life. You want to make sure that you're taking care of the family, the people you love. Life insurance especially is about love. Long-term care is about caring for yourself and making sure there's money to provide care so that your family and everyone knows what your intentions are. Proper insurance is something that it's time to get started doing. Make sure you have proper coverages. We don't need too much. We need the right amount.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a balancing act to what we can afford in the budget for what that buys and how it makes sense and where it fits in. And you can use life insurance to cover some, long-term care needs with some of the newer types of policies out there, which I hate to keep killing animals, but it's 2 birds, 1 stone. And that may work for people. It's just good to know what you have and not to avoid the topics, because you don't want the worst case scenario to happen and you have that list on your kitchen fridge that says call a life insurance guy.
Exactly right. The cheapest time to buy the insurance was yesterday. Every day we get older, things cost more, and you really have to understand the need first, understand what you need to do, how much that works out to be, and then how to pay for it, and the right kind of policy design. When you're shopping for insurance, there's many ways of doing it. At Akers Financial Group, we're actually insurance brokers on that side. And brokers are people that are licensed in the state of Maryland and non-resident licensed in many other states where our clients have retired to where we can provide insurance when needed.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, Brian. We're here for the clients when they need us. It's not always the good times. Sometimes it is, retirement, things like that, new baby, new house, new job, all those fun things. But there's a lot of negative things in life that have financial impacts. And we're there. That's our job. That's when we step up. And it's not always easy to do as a person because, we have emotions. But I get a great sense of joy when I can tell a widow or widower, don't worry, I know you've never done this, but I've done it 5 times this year, or whatever the case may be.
Right. This triggers us to also recommend that it's time to do your estate documents, to update them. Most of the time when people come in there for their first meeting, they don't have a proper estate documents. They don't have any wills or power of attorneys or healthcare power advance directive at all, or it's so old that it doesn't apply under the current law. So just like talking about life insurance, umbrella insurance, long-term care and disability and health insurance, there is the whole idea of estate documents that you really need to make sure that's in place.
Yeah, it's a very important one, and 9 times out of 10 the people are like, oh yeah, we meant to get that will, or it's on our list for 20 years.
I really believe that people that are single, divorced, any situation like that, you got to have all these documents for things to happen. You need financial power of attorneys to have someone have the financial ability to pay your bills for you in case you're having extended care in a hospital or something. There are things that must happen out there. Many people are in situations where they didn't have these documents, and so people had to go to court just to get the ability to take care of their own family member. If you pre-plan and do this properly, you'll be in a lot better shape.
And the last thing you want to do when you have a family crisis or emergency is have to deal with the legal system. It's just no good.
Absolutely. Akers Financial, we're local, we're independent. We don't report to a big company. We report to you, the client. We have offices around Maryland, Farceville, and Lutherville. But if you can hear this show, we have the opportunity to work with you. You obviously won't be coming into the office as much anymore, but we do some mask-to-mask meetings, and we look forward to meeting with you. It can be done in person through mask-to-mask meetings. It can be done virtual. It can also be done over the phone as we get to know each other. It's all about retirement for you. We want you to begin winning in retirement. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancial.com. The people that come in to talk to us have one thing in common, and we'll talk about that when we come back. Akers Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at AkersFinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, this is Jesse Cunningham, the owner of Mountain View Insurance, and we are proud to be affiliated with Akers Financial Group. We, too, base our business on integrity, service, and acknowledge that every client's insurance needs are unique to their own situation. At Mountain View Insurance, we specialize in car insurance, home insurance, and umbrella coverages, all designed to protect your assets that you've worked so hard to earn. When serving our clients, we focus on creating a protection plan that is appropriate to your needs. After we determine the correct plan, we then go to shop for you. Mountain View Insurance is an independent insurance brokerage, and that means we have access to many top national and regional insurance carriers. Let us build an appropriate and affordable insurance plan for you, and give us a call directly at 410-262-3176. Once again, that's 410-262-3176. This is Jesse Cunningham, owner of Mountain View Insurance, and I look forward to hearing from you.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Alex Monk. We are here in the fourth quarter of the show. This show has been about it's time. It's time to do many things. Well, if you haven't had the time to catch up on the show so far, this coming week you can go to our website at akersfinancial.com, and you'll see a radio tab. That radio tab, you click that, and then you'll see all the shows we've done in the past. And this show will be on there by Wednesday of next week, so you can listen to different parts or whatever you like to do as you hear what we say and basically understand what we do when it comes to financial planning. So we are experienced, certified financial planner practitioners, and that website, akersfinancial.com, you can go there and hear past shows. Are you ready, Alex, for the fourth quarter?
I was born for this, Brian.
I thought you were born for second half. Now you're born for the fourth quarter.
You know,
fourth quarter is winning time.
It's part of the second half. It's the most important part of the second half.
I heard that fourth quarter is part of the second half. That's a pretty cool thing. All right, so this segment was this. People that come in to talk to us have one thing in common. What is that, Alex?
They're serious about their finances.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they are very serious about their finances. We think that's a very important thing. Yeah. You might think you're serious about your finances, but do you know your finances? Do you know where your money is?
And you need to know. It could be scary. You may think that it's embarrassing, whatever the holdup may be, because money has a lot of emotional or psychological attachments to it, because there's fear associated with not having too much. There's greed when you want to make more. There's all types of different things that are triggered, and I don't have that. I just see a number. I'm going to give you that objective opinion because I want to see people do well, and we do well when people do well. It's all about our clients and being there for them, and it gives us, at least it gives me, a great sense of fulfillment. I know you wouldn't have been doing it this long if you hated it, Brian.
No, I love it. I love walking people through all the different phases of life and helping them with decisions they have to make and how it applies to their finances. Enjoy investing and growing their money over time, properly insuring for things and making sure that we're there when we get that call. This show has been It's Time. It's time to get serious about your finances. And the way you do that, you can go to the website, akersfinancial.com. There's a radio tab. There's also a documents tab. And in there are two things. One's called Describing Your Financial Fingerprint. And that is a site where you can basically write out the information about goals and where you are currently. And then the other thing is called Identifying Your Financial Fingerprint, where we gather information to bring in for that first or second meeting. You don't have to bring a lot of information to that first meeting. The more information you bring, the better. It helps us give answers that you could use. But generally, we invite you to get to know us to begin that process of getting serious about your finances.
Yeah, and there's no catch. We're not trying to sell you something. We're trying to try out and show you what we do. Before you ever get charged a fee or anything like that, we're going to tell you. There's no smoke and mirrors. We want to show you how we work, explain to you where you're at, what your options are, and then make sure it's something that we both are interested in.
So what's involved in a second opinion when someone has things going on, but they want a second opinion of what's going on in their life?
So what I do is I put together a written document and some reports that show them where everything is, so I can prove to them what the written document says and what my thoughts are on that, where they have strengths, weaknesses, missing spots, different options, different ways that we can work together depending on what they are looking for and where they're at in life. And then I don't high pressure that, like, then the ball's in their court to evaluate this information. If you need to come back and go over some questions, absolutely. But it's not a scary thing at all. It's actually rewarding to find out where everything is. And a lot of people they say, Alex, I was a little nervous coming into this, but I feel so much better that we did it. I don't know why I was nervous at all.
Right. But that's true. There's different types of people. Everyone's different. Everyone is different. Even to like a fingerprint is different. Everyone has absolutely different financial situations, and they approach money differently. Some money is a very high priority, and they know where every penny is. But the thing is that to maximize what they're doing, there are ways to come alongside and help that. Clients that might not care to know about their finances, they need someone who's going to be more of that advisor that's going to say, here's what you need to do. Here's exactly the answers for you. Other clients need options to understand what are my choices in this. And then we work through logically those choices till we get to an answer that makes sense. We design Akers Financial Group to deliver those answers no matter what that answer may be. It's not a one product sale. It's not, here's the only product that's available and this is what fits everyone. It's about planning that leads to implementation. It's about planning that leads to reaching the goals of the client.
Life changes so dramatically and so rapidly without warning. So it's not something that you can do it once, say, all right, this is our plan, and we're good. There's just no way that you can predict the future. So it's finding those goals, the ways to attack them, and then monitoring the plan and updating it so that it continues to fit you. It's like buying a really nice tuxedo when you're a kid with extra fabric to fill in when you get a little bit older.
So it sounds like you've done that before.
They don't make that yet, but I'm looking into it.
All right, so you're going to patent that idea. All right, so today's show is called It's Time. It's time to begin changing your financial life by basically talking about where you are now and what your goals are. And things that begin are identifying and basically describing your financial situation. We call that your unique financial fingerprint. We take that situation, then we add items and recommendations that are going to build and grow. So it's time to make sure you review your insurance. It's time to review your portfolio. It's time for a second opinion.
And that second opinion, it can be as in-depth or as light as you want it. The more information, always the better. But there's weird stuff that you don't always want to talk about, and I get that. You don't have to. But we want to be able to help you on your terms.
Right. Yeah, I had a new client Wednesday, and basically they stopped by the office and they brought a pile of things for us to scan because they want to understand what is the best idea, the best way to get ready to retire based on their assets and their businesses that they've built over the years. So it's nowhere near an easy situation. And so my example to them is we need data, we need information to be able to try to talk about what you've been able to build over these last 30 years, for how to bring that all together to actually retire. So many times people build assets, and those assets might be in one thing. It could be real estate, could be a business, could be a farm, it could really be a little bit of anything. And so what we try to do is take people where they are and figure out what is the best way for you to retire on what you've built.
And help with the logistics, too. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't realize is it can be difficult for you to manage all this on your own. And the burden is pushed on the retiree. It's not handled with pensions anymore. So you have to have a plan on how you're going to flow your money. Where's your next monthly distribution coming from? Are you managing your taxes? I tell people all the time, if I can save you 10% in taxes just by how we structure things, I'm already ahead of the game.
Yeah, 10% is a lot of money. And that is one of those things between the 12% and the 22% bracket that people need to be well educated on that and know where those limits are for single filers, married filing jointly, and married filing separately, so they know their taxes. All of this comes into decision making. It's not as simple as, buy this investment. It is about why buy that investment. So it's time. So when you think about it's time, Alex, what do you think about?
I don't know. We've said time so many times today that how the word just stops making sense to me. But time is the one thing that we can never get more of.
Right.
And it's our most valuable resource. So using your time wisely means doing things that are important for your family right away.
Right. So when I think about the word it's time, usually I begin to think about what have I put off that I really truly need to handle. Where is that pile of unopened envelopes? Where is that pile of information, the investments, the things I need to tackle, where once I get through that, things will be better. It could be getting yourself out of debt. It could be how to handle your investments. It could be making a change from a broker or an advisor that has not done well for you over the last decade. Maybe you need to get a strong second opinion. It's time to have those important talks.
Absolutely. And our thing is we want to be there for people. That's my number one goal, is to be that sounding board through retirement, not just today.
Absolutely. And so Akers Financial Group is built around providing the needs of the clients as they build and get ready to win in retirement. That's also what this show is all about. In retirement, your biggest worry of your day should be where to drink your morning coffee, where every day seems like a Saturday, free of stress. Your retirement income or investments all taken care of at the trustworthy team of Akers Financial Group. This is the future you want. It's not too late. We want to provide that for you. So begin by calling Akers Financial Group to schedule your free meeting with us. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancial.com. And you can go to our webpage and also our Facebook page at Akers Financial. Thank you for listening today. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.
The preceding was a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services.
You are unique. Just as no two fingerprints are alike, each individual's financial situation is uniquely their own. That's why the Akers Financial Group's team of advisors begins each relationship with a proven process that identifies your financial fingerprint. We'll guide you through a series of steps designed to provide a complete and accurate snapshot of where you are right now. Everything we learn about your financial fingerprint will become part of a detailed financial plan created especially for you. We'll never give you a cookie-cutter proposal or suggest a one-size-fits-all portfolio. The financial plan takes you from where you are now to where you need to be. Begin by discovering your financial fingerprint right now by going to getmyfinancialfingerprint.com. That's getmyfinancialfingerprint.com.
Member FINRA SIPC.
This is the sound of E. coli splashing around in raw hamburger juice on your cutting board. And it looks like Mom just put the tomatoes and onions on there too. Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables on 2 cutting boards. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting from the Thompson Creek Window Company studios, the one window replacement company that does it all. This is WJZ-FM, HD1 Catonsville, Baltimore. 105.7, The Fan, a radio.com sports station.